Petitti screwed the pooch on this.
Yes.
Let this one get out of control.
No, he
And
has. I think most Buckeye fans agree with that.
okay, fair.
Yeah.
How in the world can you bring down punishment without a full investigation? I think Michigan season hinges on this game.
Listen, I know that you don't like coming to daddy's house, okay? I understand that you've been acting up all year, losing games, sending eggplant emojis. But now it's time for daddy to punish.
Free, look out now. The sideline, forget about it. This baby's over.
Oh, my goodness. One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
And most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the football field.
Another block. One more. He's touchdown. No flag.
Samuel cuts it back. Ohio State wins.
Here's the run again. Donovan Edwards. No. Can they catch him? No. Donovan Edwards again. Good down.
Alrighty, welcome back to episode 31. It should be 32.
Yeah.
We recorded the other day and the file got wiped. And hey, at least it took us 30 episodes to have that mishap. But we're back.
By the way, I like the sweater, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is Adidas paying you yet?
Not yet. We're working on it. We're working on the push. All right. Lots to talk about. Big week for many reasons. We obviously have the investigation. You got a monstrous matchup. We got the round number 2 for the battle of the top of the Big Ten East. And we got
Bryce, the Big Ten. Just say the Big Ten.
fair. And then you got Sparty coming to Columbus, and
No, say our
yikes.
son. Say your son's coming to Columbus.
Yikes. Yeah, could be. Could be. So lots to talk about. Let's touch on the investigation because we talked about it last episode, but no one saw that, so it almost doesn't even matter. And the other thing too is that this thing is constantly changing, and we're recording this on Wednesday, and so I'm sure by the time we finish editing and publish, there's going to be new news. But
tomorrow we're expecting big news. So
yep, exactly. So tomorrow we should be expecting big news. Michigan had till today to respond back to the Big Ten. Big Ten will probably come out tomorrow with what many would assume would be a punishment, to which point it sounds like all things are pointing to Michigan responding with legal action with a lawsuit. So it'll be interesting. It's almost like we should probably wait to record, but we got to stay consistent here. So crazy stuff, man.
Who knows? I might go live. Who knows?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, if there's a punishment, I might.
We should. Let's talk about it quick. I mean, so again, rehashing a little bit what we talked about before.
Yeah.
Petitti screwed the pooch on this.
Yes.
So I know many Buckeye fans are going to disagree, but he let this one get out of control. And
no, he has. I think most Buckeye fans agree with that.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
He completely let this one get out of control. And Garrison, I don't know what you feel like, but objectively speaking, which take that for what it's worth coming from my mouth, how in the world can you bring down punishment without a full investigation?
I guess the right answer would be you can't, but they have the ability to do so. I mean, heck, Bryce, if you harken back to last year, I'm not saying it's the same, of course. We're talking about a violent act, but I mean, if you take the tunnel incident last year, when your coach Ward Mayo came out of his dungeon and decided to speak after the game too, and they called for punishment without due process. They called for punishment without the investigation of all the people that were involved in that. Bryce, do you know how many people actually got charged in that Michigan State incident? One.
Oh, one did? Who got charged?
I forget his name, but no, one did get charged.
Okay.
And
I thought none did. But
yeah, so I find it really funny that and there were the kids that were suspended on that team, I think, for 4 games. So I find it funny that coming from a program that called for legal action before the investigation even happened, and then when the investigation happened, there's people that were exonerated from it are now crying for it. But no, Petitti has put himself in a very bad situation.
Yeah, and I actually do understand Michigan State's, and maybe it goes beyond. I understand their frustrations with that. Because I don't remember if I had a stance either way last year, thinking that they should be suspended. I did think the one difference was just potential criminal charges. But again, I think you can just as well make the argument, and this is me taking MSU's fans' side, is
you said
Spartans' side is that you're innocent until proven guilty. And so, yeah, I think you're right. I think that's fair for them to be disgruntled, and it feels a little bit two-faced. Do criminal charges have anything to do with that? Maybe a little bit, but
for one person. I mean,
yeah.
Even for Urban Meyer, we suspended him, Bryce, before the investigation was even done, and that was the institution that did it.
Yeah,
but I think that what's getting lost here is that I said this and you guys ended up doing this, but I said this for your guys' recruiting violations. I said it will do you better to just self-sanction yourself. It will do you better, and I think that at this moment in time, we like I said, we hashed this out the other day. There is a specific difference between what Rutgers, Purdue, and Ohio State did compared to what the University of Michigan was doing. The football, I don't say University of Michigan, the football program is doing. I want to put that on them.
Yeah. So explain that. So I have thoughts.
Yeah. So, and we can put it up here. I think I'll send it to you. There were sheets that were shown where between Purdue, Rutgers, and Ohio State, there was information. I'm sorry, between Rutgers and Ohio State, there was information shown that was given to Purdue before they played you guys in the Big Ten championship game. Now, whether that, I don't say whether. I mean, I guess you can say that violates some of the what's that rule called, Bryce? The
integrity of the game.
The integrity of the game, but it's not a specific bylaw. It's not a specific rule that's broken. Whereas we're talking about. And I think that's done all across college football. People handing information, emailing, texting, however you want to put it. That's not the rule we're talking about. What we're talking about here is sending people or someone on your staff going somewhere to go and film another team. Central Michigan is about to be, as I said this the other day, I think Central Michigan is about to be in deeper crap than you guys.
Yeah, they do.
I think they are.
Agreed.
Mike Valenti said something the other day on his show. I think it was actually on the show. He said he has heard something about Central Michigan. It ain't good. And he says he's going to hold on until it comes out. Because I think, as I said to you before, I think we all know that was Connor Stalions on that sideline. It looks like Central Michigan did something shady. And if it involved, whether it was Connor Stalions or if it involved the football program, Jim Harbaugh, the coordinators, that can get really bad. But I don't know. Yeah. I just think that the Big Ten, it's an ish show, bro. Like
it is,
man.
It's yeah, you can't deny the fact that if Michigan broke a rule, which there is just such a mess within that, like everything you just mentioned, but it feels like technically Michigan did break a rule. It feels like there's multiple ways to look at it. So did they break a rule? Let's say yes, they did. Okay. They broke a rule that's archaic, and they broke a rule that the NCAA said in 2021 has no real advantage. So they should be hit with a punishment. They should be hit with something.
Right.
Whether that's a fine, I don't know. But then if you want to look at it, because NCAA has taken that approach. There's rules that the Michigan broke. NCAA rules that Michigan broke. It sounds like what Petitti the route he's taken is the integrity of the game. And unless there's more to it, I think that's absolutely comical. I think if you're going to say colluding, or if you're going to say an assistant, an analyst, somebody buying tickets for random people to go record a game on his iPhone is worse than coaches colluding, putting their information together to beat a specific team. If you're saying that's worse, that's insane. That's insane. Now, if you're going to say, all right, all the coaches can put their notes together in one shared Google Doc, we can all work off of it. fine, great. But this was directed towards beating Michigan. So I think if you sit here and you say that one is worse than the other,
Bryce. I'm still here.
this is what happens when you get Garrison. He runs away.
I'm
Get
still
Scott.
here. No, man, I gotta keep. Every time I look at myself, I'm like, man, I don't look black right now, so I gotta look like you.
So, all right.
I'm sorry, continue, buddy.
All right. So yeah, I think if you compare those two, let me ask you, which would you rather have? Would you rather have a raw cell phone footage that needs to be broken down, or highly experienced coaches just handing over their work?
I think. I mean, we've also seen the sheet that Connor Stallions has. I think there's a difference between the sheet that these coaches are handing out and the sheet that he had, who had color signals for each of the people on the sideline, hand signals, arm signals. And it's completely different. And again, we're talking about you can say iPhone footage if you want to. Again, we're talking 8 to 10 rows up on the 50-yard line. Like, I don't think that's and Bryce, I don't know about your camera, but my camera works pretty doggone well. So I mean, you can probably get that from that far.
We don't know what Purdue got.
Oh no, for sure. Well, no, we do.
What did they get?
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. Here's the image right now. It says Michigan signals as their tempo, some of their runs, whether it be on 2 downs. Like it's very, very like their pass. When I send this to you, and we can put it up here. When you see this, Bryce, you'll be like, oh wow. So it's very put together here, color coded and everything.
Yeah.
So I think I'll tell you what, if Petitti wanted to do something about this, Bryce, this is what he should do. I think what Ohio State, Rutgers, and Purdue have done is worth fine.
Oh, okay.
Fine. If you think it impeaches the integrity of the game, which to an extent I think it does also, even though every college does this,
yep,
I think it's fine. But then when we're talking about we're talking about the Michigan program, we're still talking about something that's unprecedented and something that's not done. Like Bryce, Lane Kiffin came out and said, no, what they did is not normal. And
yeah. Part of some dirty programs.
Listen, and if Kiffin's gonna listen, if you're a guy that cheats, you're not gonna come like guys has some dirty. I don't say cheat. Guys has some dirty programs. Been come almost looks like a sleaze bag, kind of like a junior Urban Meyer. You don't go out. I know it's tough. You don't go out and say that. You don't go out your way and say that. I think if Lane is saying that, I've told you. Also, Bob Stoops has said this. No, what they did is not normal. So if you're going to do that, then you're talking about suspension. I mean, that would be a double suspension in one season, which has never been done before in college football. And I understand a bunch of Michigan fans or even like Santa Ono saying they would press legal charges. I don't think you want to do that. You're talking about 2 games and a $10,000 fine. Bryce, do you know how much it's going to cost them to go to court?
I don't think money matters. I think there's more to this here.
And maybe it doesn't, but I mean,
Michigan's got deep pockets.
Yes, they do. But I've said this from the get-go. You are in this situation because of your own doing.
Yeah, no, of course. I think there's more. I think if you want to look at it from dollars and cents, I think Michigan, Jim being suspended 2 games, whether it's Penn State, Maryland, or Maryland, Ohio State, that the legal fees could be worth it for what that would lead to. Let's say Jim's not coaching, and you lose one of those games, or versus if he is coaching and you win, you make it to the playoff. Makes that like the money is worth it, plus the prestige, PR, all that fun stuff. So yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I put this out yesterday, Bryce. I said, right now what Michigan looks like, it looks like you guys are saying, hey, I know we robbed this bank, but we were hired to do it. Yeah, but you still did it.
Yeah, I've seen some wild analogies. Some are good. Like all analogies will fall through, of course. Some good, some not good. Shout out Buckeye Sean 007, just working hard on Twitter. Love that guy.
Man, I love it. Listen, if there's one guy that's going to defend the brand of Ohio State, that's
Buckeye Sean 007.
That Buckeye Sean 007. That's the guy right there.
I love it. Give him a follow. Even if you're a Michigan fan, he'll
Mm.
put you to work. All right, well, let's talk about games because, like I said, the second bout.
I'll tell you someone else. Phil, Mays Madman. My God, is he working? He's working
Yeah,
overtime. He's working overtime.
he's
So
he's part of the blue wall, man. We got work to do, and he's working hard.
Do. Yeah, you do.
All right, let's talk about Penn State because this is the second bout of the trifecta of monstrous games.
Yes.
Garrison, I think Michigan's season hinges on this game. Obviously, you lose this game, you go and beat Ohio State. In many ways, it'll be still a good season, but Michigan can't afford a loss. I don't think. See how things play out. But if you have Florida State's and Washington's winning out, when you have Oregon with one loss, you got Texas wins out. Like, I just don't think Michigan can afford not to be in the Big Ten championship game. So I think Michigan's season hinges on this game. First ranked opponent on the road, legit defense with offensive talent and with NFL talent. I think their offense is young, but they've got playmakers. They've got talent on there as well. We all know the stats that they've had one 40-yard plus play. I think that's still the case.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a few against Maryland, but going into the Maryland game, they had the one explosive play. I think beyond that too, I think it's maybe two other things to just watch and pay attention to in this game. Michigan's dominated all year.
Yeah.
And Josh Pate, who we both love, and we think we both, I don't say we love him.
The president of college football.
we both respect him, which is weird to have a common denominator between our two fan bases, but I think you and I both like him. He had made some really good points. Some I agreed with, some I was maybe pushed back on a little bit. But the one he did say is that Michigan has beaten up on lesser opponents all season long. And so could Michigan be an elite football team? Absolutely. But could they be a team that beats up on inferior talent? We'll see. The jury will be out on that, and we'll see Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a psyche to overcome there. I think Michigan is, of course, a veteran team with lots of experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that they will be able to work through. And then the biggest thing is just, and Pate made this point too, and I was going to say this anyways, Trevor Keegan came out and said he deleted Twitter from his phone because of just all of this that's going on. And this is out of those players' hands. But how much can you really block? How much of the noise can you really keep out of the locker room, keep off your phone, keep out of conversation?
Yeah.
And I think if you go out on Saturday and you lose, I think the season will be kind of over when it comes to the playoff national championship dreams. And like, I could be wrong about that, of course, but assuming that's the case, you go out and lose, then everyone is going to say, okay, you cheated. You only won because you cheated, whether that's fair or not. They'll say that. Whereas if you go out and win and you take care of Penn State on the road with everything out on the table, Stallions is gone. Everyone knows about everything. Franklin has had ample time to change his signs. You can almost put this not to bed, because assuming that maybe there's going to be an announcement on Thursday with Harbaugh, you can put a lot of this behind you and say, all right, now we're here. Let's focus on ball. Let's play ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not even gonna bring up the whole cheating thing in this game. I'm just gonna talk about from just strictly football. Alleged cheating. I'm just gonna talk about strictly football. I mean, even if you guys were to lose, I don't think, in my personal view, I can care less about the alleged cheating scandal when it comes to this. I think if you guys are to lose this game, it's simply because Penn State's that good of a team. You talk now, even when like as you said, that Josh Pate said, and I watched it also. Yeah, Michigan could probably be a team that's beating up on bad teams. Yeah, it is the 112th ranked schedule.
Yep.
But I just had an argument on the phone with my buddy Mike the other day. My buddy Mike Spencer, good guy, I love him. Been one of my good friends since high school. He's like, well, what? Should Michigan be ranked 23rd? I'm like, don't be dumb. We all know Michigan's still a really good football team. We all know that. I don't think that's a questionable thing. But what happens when you get punched in the mouth? We said, JJ, he threw for over 330 yards last week, but he didn't look good. There's probably about 3 to 4 passes that I think if they're Ohio State or Penn State, those getting picked off. The run game hasn't been there. Blake Corum's rushing yards per attempt have gone down for the last 3 games since Indiana. The O-line doesn't look the same even in pass pro. Now, it's not a bad offensive line. I still think it's the top 10 offensive line in the nation, but it's not the same. And can your wide receivers? I have faith in a Roman, but we beat them because we have a Marvin Harrison Jr. And I don't know if you guys trust your other wide receivers like that. So
I think
you do have your tight end. I was like, you do have your tight ends, but Penn State has really athletic linebackers.
Yeah. Yes.
And though I think their defensive line is undersized, it's still the best defensive line you're going to see all year to date.
Oh, better than Ohio State's? Or you're saying?
I said no. To date, it's good. This is a complete different level than you guys have seen all year.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. You talked about, we don't have a Marvin Harrison Jr., but we do have JJ. What do I mean by that? I'm not comparing the two as just football players, but I just mean JJ can do more than a Kyle McCord can do, I believe. And you can argue that. We can argue that later.
Right now, that's fair to say.
Yeah. And so I think there is more offensive. I think the offensive output can be matched there. And then I think you mentioned it too. I see a lot of opportunity with the tight ends. Michigan loves their tight ends. I've seen some weakness in that Penn State defense when it comes to the tight end. Yeah, linebackers are athletic, but I think that Colson Loveland and AJ Barner should have good games, because I do think you're right. I think go back to look at the game last year. Michigan had 563 total yards. Do you know how many of those were rushing yards?
Like 400 something, but that's
418.
But that's a I'll equivalent that, Bryce, to what I saw JT Tuimoloau do last year against Penn State. You're not gonna see that again.
No, I was gonna say I don't think you are gonna see that again. I think Pate was talking about this again, because I decided I would refer to Pate's segment again, but he was saying that he was there in the offseason, and all throughout the locker room was 418. And I think Penn State takes a lot of pride in their rush defense, and is going to take a lot of pride in it. And I don't think you're going to see that productivity there. Blake Corum did say this week, though, that he and his offensive lineman and the other running backs had little meetings and stuff and discussing, hey, we gotta get this ship right. And so I do think we will be able to run the ball, not 418 yards worth, but I think there will be a emphasis on that. And I do think we will have some success, because I do think we still have a really solid offensive line. But Penn State's rush defense is number 2 in the country, and they've held teams to 60 yards a game on the ground.
Yep.
And they're number 12 in pass defense. Now, they didn't play against Travion Henderson, so I think that's a different animal. So I wonder how those numbers would change, but regardless, being number 2 rush defense is impressive. And then Michigan and Penn State, talking about defenses, are both 1 and 2 in the nation in total yards. And the stat that you've probably seen is that neither team has given up a point in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Something maybe we'll have to give.
Yeah, I think if Penn State's going to win this game, it's going to hinge on Drew Allar, how are you going to say it?
Yeah.
6.6 per attempt is not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done.
Is that what he's averaging right now, or is that what he had against?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Yeah, that is not going to get it done.
Now, maybe he was just shell-shocked going into the horseshoe. I'll remind you, Bryce, going to that last drive of the game they had 6 points, 6 yards all half, and we're over 15 on third down, finished 1 for 16.
Yeah. Yep.
Now I believe Ohio State has the best defense in the nation. I make no bones about that. I think it's, in my eyes, I think it's a very clear thing right now. Even though they did have that mishap last week, but you're gonna have to let ball downfield.
Yeah.
And even though I believe that you only have one receiver, okay? Like Keandre Lambert Smith. You gotta find a way to get the ball to your tight ends also. I think Michigan and Penn State are built very, very similarly. The difference is the quarterback. And if And if there's ever a time for Drew to show his potential, man, what better place to do it than in Happy Valley against the University of Michigan?
Thank the good Lord on high. This game is not at night.
Oh my God. And
Thank
I'll
you.
tell you what.
Big noon
I'll tell you
kickoff.
what, man. And you brought up if Michigan were to lose this game, if they can get back into the college football playoff, right? Right now, so one of the first tiebreaker for the three would be the record of the other divisional opponents that you face. Right now, Penn State has the lead in that against Ohio State and Michigan. I think Michigan and Ohio State are tied right now for that. So
what do you mean? Wait, so Penn State's played more, beaten more teams than the other side?
No. So their Big Ten West opponents have a better record than the ones we have played. We play equal amount, and they have a better record right now. Their opponents do I think they have Iowa there. They have Iowa. That's why.
Yeah.
So if Michigan were to lose this game, I mean, Michigan to lose this game, beat Ohio State, and Penn State will go to the Big Ten championship.
Yeah. No, it's set up well for Penn State.
Yeah. So both teams, especially James Franklin, man, this is your biggest game. This is your biggest game of your career. This is the biggest game of his career. This Saturday is.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I was when a lot of Michigan fans were giving Penn State the business, how they played in Columbus. I sat quietly. I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. And I look back at their resume, and they had one sloppy game against Indiana, and they had a slow start against Northwestern. But they beat West Virginia 38-15. They beat Iowa 31-0. And you can make arguments in all those games.
And West Virginia has one of the best O-lines in the nation, by the way.
Okay.
And I think they're 6-3 team right now.
They lost to 8 to you guys, and then they blew the doors off Maryland, which that team is not good. But
Bryce, I don't beating Maryland. How many teams in the Big Ten do you think can beat Maryland 51-15?
Yeah, probably at Maryland
3.
too. Probably 3.
Just 3, and it's us 3.
Yeah, probably. So I don't know, man. I think you're right. I think the teams are very similar. I know they got some younger running backs, but they're good backs. And yeah, you mentioned Keandre Lambert-Smith, Dante Cephas is another one too. I think he's starting to get going a little bit here. And then the tight ends.
Theo Johnson is someone to watch at tight end.
Yep.
Someone to watch.
Yep. So yeah, I expect a big game from JJ, not because of any Heisman stuff. I think he's going to be the key. I think they're going to stop the run. They're going to try to stop the run. And I think Michigan's defense just has to keep Allard contained. Because you're right. Like, this could be the game he goes off. This could be the game where he gets his feet, starts, he's used to the big game. He's already dealt with the big game experience once before, able to bounce back. And I hope it's not the case, but I am definitely worried about this game.
Yeah.
I think we could win by 3 touchdowns. I think we could also lose by probably not 3 touchdowns, but I think
you have a score?
You what?
Do you have a score for the game?
I'm going to go.
And the line's 5 now, so
24-20. Blue.
I have 24-17.
Ooh, Penn State or Michigan?
Michigan. I don't think anyone's. I like.
I thought you picked the Penn State to win.
Oh,
I thought you just said that. Yeah, dude. Pate picked Penn State, and that makes me nervous because he called out Louisville, Notre Dame, and I thought that was great call out. The other thing I'll note too, because we'll talk about the bloodbath that's going to happen in the shoe at night, but. So let's talk about, what are your thoughts on James Franklin? He's 3-16. That's the glaring stat against top 10 teams. But the point was made by Pate. God, we just need to have him on the show. Point was made is that only one of those games he was a Vegas spread favorite, and he won it. So it means he won 2 of those as a dog.
Yep.
I get what he's saying. But also, I think you're kind of like shifting around. Like, I think if you're 3-16 against top 10 opponent, no matter what, I still think that's a bad record. Am I missing something?
No, I think that's a bad record. I
thought,
and that's while he was at Penn State, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is
Yeah.
exclusively.
So I would love to see what his overall, because I don't know how many coaches can get 2 back-to-back 9-win seasons at Vanderbilt,
That's
the
yep.
Harvard of the South. But
Dude, no, and he is a good coach.
Is he 3-5 against Michigan?
I believe he's 3-6.
3-6. Okay, so I mean,
one of those is a COVID year.
Yeah, so he's underperformed. I mean, on average, Bryce, he's had per 247, he's had the second best talented team in the Big Ten.
Yep.
So I guess the good part about it is Jim Harbaugh is not good against his when he's the underdog, he doesn't win either. So
well, it's favorite. So he's good. I think we're 5-point favorites.
No,
right?
yeah. So I mean, but I'm saying is, I mean, but I don't think maybe we'll hold that against Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. Like, I think this is a very even matchup. I think between all 3 teams it is. I'm looking forward to it. It's probably a top 5 game of the year for me.
Yeah, big time. I'm glad it's at noon because we don't have to go to Happy Valley at night, but then also you can get this game out of the way. I couldn't sit there for the entire slate of noon 3:30 games to wait for that. That would be miserable.
This game should be at night.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel.
But
Mr.
there
Clown.
is a game. But there is a game at night.
So, all right, let's talk about this. The floor is yours.
Listen, I know that you don't like coming to Daddy's house, okay?
You being Michigan State.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you don't like coming to Daddy's house in Columbus, coming to the Cathedral College Football. I understand that you've been acting up all year, losing games, sending eggplant emojis. But now it's time for Daddy to punish you. And for some odd reason, for the last 2 years, whenever we see you, we punish you. 2021, 56-7. Bryce, of those 56 points, 49 of that came in the first half. It was 49-0 at half, probably the greatest half of football you ever seen in your life. 2022, 49-20. And I get, Bryce, listen, Michigan State's averaging 18.2 points per game. I mean, they average 6.9 first half points. Mind you, Ohio State gives up 5.1. That 6.9, Bryce, is 128th in the nation in first half scoring out of Michigan State. At 5.1 for Ohio State, 3rd in the nation on defense. Second half scoring. Ohio State, Bryce, and I've said plenty of times, they look like what Michigan did last year. The first half might look close, and that second half is a bludgeoning. Ohio State's 8th in the nation, Bryce, in second half scoring at 18.5. Okay. MSU is at the 63rd at 12.5. I think we get to maybe 35 points, but they don't get to 10. I think we're gonna crack their muffin. I don't think there's any way in this world on God's green earth they're in the game by mid-3rd quarter. The last 5 games, you lost to Iowa, you lost to Rutgers, you lost to Michigan, you got blanked by Michigan, you lost to Minnesota, you beat Nebraska, and you should have lost that game too.
You could argue you could beat Rutgers, but I see what you're saying. Yep.
I just don't think that, Bryce, that's not a good team. That's not a good team. It has talent. Do not get me wrong. That team sucks. It stinks.
Dude, they have talent, but half the talent isn't playing because of injury or they're going to transfer. Yeah. So
you're right.
This is going to be so bad. Now, Michigan blanked them at home. And so it's like, what can Ohio State do?
Oh, these games at night, New Jerseys.
If you don't win, if you don't put up 50 and maybe they get a garbage touchdown somewhere, that's a loss.
For who? Ohio State?
Yeah.
Right, so Ohio State's not putting up 50.
You think they're going to put up 50?
Right, wait. So you think we should put up the same amount of points this year as CJ Stroud does?
I think between
No, answer my question.
Yes.
You think because this has nothing to do with the defense.
Yeah,
This is a completely different offense, Bryce.
well,
They run the ball.
you can score on defense too. I don't know if you knew that. But I think if Henderson's playing and Marvin Harrison's playing, McCord's going to give them the ball. If those two guys can get 3, maybe 4, right? Throw in another touchdown to Stover. And then you get a couple turnover touchdowns.
I don't know if Stover's playing.
Is he not going to play?
I don't think so, Bryce.
G. Scott. You got enough talent at the tight end position.
Bryce.
Fine. 45. 45-7. Anything less.
I call it 38-9. I don't not or 6. I don't think we're getting the yeah, we can get the 40, Bryce, but I don't.
So you're not going to cover?
I don't know. I don't care about covering against Michigan State. I care about blowing their doors off. You can still blow their doors off without covering. Listen. Get used to this. This is a different Ohio State team. It's led by their defense. And I've said 5 times on this show. Ryan Day said before the season started, we will lean on this defense. Now, is there a chance, Bryce, that just like Drew Allard, that Kyle McCord finally hits his stride and he pings down the field? Maybe so. This is Emeka's second game back after his injury. Lathan Ransom is supposed to play. We don't know if Denzel Burke is. Or I'm sorry, I had that backwards. I think Denzel's supposed to play. And we don't know if Lathan is yet, which I think is very crucial. I think he's great for running.
I don't think any of this. I get what you're saying. This doesn't matter. You guys are worlds beyond them.
No, we are, Bryce. We are. No, listen, we are. What I'm saying is, don't sit here and say we gotta score freaking 50.
All right, fine. 45.
And you're calling that a loss? Kick rocks. I know if we score 30 between 35 and 40, if you score 35 to 40 points, but we give up less than 10, I will be happy. I'm not like we're talking that's 5 touchdowns.
All right, fine.
And Bryce, and if we score a lot in the first half, we run like Bryce. 2021, we scored 49 at half and scored 7 the rest of the game. So what I'm saying is there's a chance that we'll say we go up 30 to.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
I'm just saying I think the defense will score points as well. I don't think their defense can even keep up with you. I don't care what you have to what I guess the situation is with this year's offense compared to last. I think you'll still get points, but I think the defense is so much better that you'll see a couple touchdowns from them, special teams mishaps. Michigan State's going to go into the shoe at night. Alternative jerseys. You guys are number 1 in the country.
We're gonna blow the doors off.
Yuck.
It's bad. I'm gonna pass. We put 100 points in the last 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. All right. Well, we got 2.5 minutes here. Garrison, you're 31-14 picking. I'll get my picks at the end, but you are red hot right now.
America. Best better in America.
Let's hear them. Top 5 picks for the week, people. Taylor.
I have Eastern Michigan plus 19.5 against Toledo. Toledo is 4-5 against the spread. Eastern Michigan is 5-3. I'm gonna roll with them. Roll with the hometown team, just to cover. Give me Nebraska plus 2.5 against Maryland. They are reeling, and I think Nebraska is playing some good football right now. Give me Miami plus 14 against Florida State. Tyler Van Dyke, TVD, says he plays better on the road than he plays at home because it's more of a college football atmosphere. I think Miami has the talent to keep up with Florida State. I think every 3 games or so, Florida State lets teams in the game. This is going to be one of them. Give me Oklahoma State minus 3 at UCF. Oklahoma State is 6-2 against the spread. UCF is not a good football team to me. And then I think I've been doing this almost all year. Give me Oregon and USC over 73.5.
Love it.
Easy.
That's a good picks. I got Nebraska as well. So sorry. NC State minus 2.5.
Don't leave me hanging.
Oh.
Don't leave me hanging. Thank you.
I got NC State. What is this? Plus or minus 2.5 as well.
Okay.
Give me Rutgers plus 1. I think that line's going to move a lot, so we'll see. Give me Purdue minus 1. I actually do think Walters is a really good defensive coach, and I think they're starting to figure things out. They're at the point in the season where they got nothing to lose. So let's go see who wants to play on the team. And I think they'll have a good finish to this season. And give me West Virginia plus 13. Don't have a reason for that, but
I actually almost picked that one.
all right.
All
Right,
bud.
another week. Big game Saturday. Let's hope Petitti figures things out.
He won't.
See you guys next time.